What up? Welcome back. It is Bones, and today we're gonna do a little discussion video. Now, I haven't done one of these in a while, but we did get some reveals from McFarlane, and of course, as usual, people have been losing their minds. So I thought I would add my 2 cents on the topic, and I would like to hear what you guys think about this. Now, of course, mainly I am talking about the Flash Page Punchers wave that was revealed. We are going to have a Flash figure, Captain Cold, the Atom, and Heatwave, and also possibly a mega figure of Gorilla Grodd. Now, the designs were something that a lot of people were not too happy with. Of course, as usual, they want their classic comic versions. Now, while I do understand this, as most of you who watch my channel know, I'm really open to newer versions of characters that we've never seen before, newer designs that we have never seen before, and I just can't really wrap my head around why we cannot appreciate and embrace newer versions of characters while still enjoying when McFarlane releases classic versions. Now, we all know that any comments that are made or any suggestions that are made are very unlikely to change McFarlane's mind about what he releases. Now, I'd like to clarify something, and that is that when I'm talking about worms or haters, I'm not necessarily talking about people who collect DC who have their opinions of the designs or the character choices or even the manufacturer of the figure or the articulation. If it's a valid complaint, then I mean, by all means, air out your complaints to McFarlane and to everybody else. I mean, it's not that we shouldn't complain. It's that if you have a legitimate complaint about a figure or the design, it's by far in your right to express that complaint because, of course, we are all buying these figures. We are spending our hard-earned money to get this collection. Now, who I'm really talking about are just people who either they don't really collect the line and they still want to go into the comment sections and, talk smack. And they are out there. There are people that just do not like McFarlane, do not like his figures, do not like the ones he's putting out, and they are not shy about putting their opinions out there that they do not like how this line is going, even though I pretty much doubt that they buy most of the figures released by McFarlane, if any. Now, one of the funniest things I hear is people saying that hopefully McFarlane loses the license so another company could have a go at it. I'm sorry to tell you this, but with the acquisition of DC Direct, starting to do other lines like the Page Punchers and the DC Superpowers, you guys are really reaching if you think that McFarlane is going to lose the license anytime soon. Now, we are upcoming on the renewal of the license, and the day that comes, of course, there's going to be an outcry, but it's pretty much etched in stone that McFarlane is going to have the license for the next couple of years. Now, this takes me into another topic about the Flash Page Punchers, that people were so mad about the designs and why can't we just get classic versions, and these, they start ridiculing the figures, like saying that they look like Power Rangers, that it looks like Turbo Man, which is pretty funny. I mean, I'm not going to say people aren't allowed to, make fun of things, but the thing that people are like not really picking up on is that this comic was actually designed in coalition with McFarlane, which means that he got the artists, he got the writers, and he helped design the characters. And this kind of tells you low key that McFarlane is trying to, put his foot in the door to get into making DC Comics. Now, I know people don't want to hear this and more heads are going to explode, but if McFarlane begins to do DC Comics as he has gotten the DC Direct line and the other IPs from DC. That means he's going to have more of a hold on making all kinds of figures and statues and product and the comics. Because one thing that he has been doing is making money for DC. People could talk all the crap they want. They could make up all the mental gymnastics of how McFarlane sucks and how the figures go on sale and how the figures are peg warmers. But best selling line of 2021 and still selling a lot of product in 2022. And that's basically all that DC cares about, Warner Brothers cares about, is the profit margin. So no, McFarlane is not going anywhere. I'm sorry to tell you. Go ahead and cry into your pillow or teddy bear, whichever it may be, but it's just not going to happen. In fact, McFarlane is releasing more and getting stronger, and basically there's nothing we can do to stop it or you can do to stop it. So don't have to like it, don't have to love it, but learn to live with it. McFarlane is not going anywhere. Now, if the action figure gods allow, McFarlane will have the license for years to come. I'm sure we will get many female figures, many villains, many sidekicks, many side characters by the time those years end, and a lot of people will be happy with the figures that we have received. But it is never a good idea to get over emotional and jump the gun. Just let them release what's going to be released, and if you don't like it, don't buy it. If you like it, pick it up. Me, as a completionist, I will buy all releases from McFarlane from DC. In fact, I buy 2, 3, sometimes even 4 of each figure, and that is because I'm a big DC figure collector, obviously, as you could tell. Now, before I go, that's one thing I do want to hit on. I don't want to make too big of a deal of it. There's a lot of Marvel Legends mouth puppets out there, and they pretty much have been collecting Marvel Legends for a long time. In fact, when I first started collecting figures, I did collect the Toy Biz Marvel Legends, but I got out way, before Hasbro came into the picture. I stopped collecting Marvel Legends a long time ago, and that's when I started concentrating on DC characters. But just a little piece of advice: don't take the word of someone that's been collecting Marvel Legends for 20 years and take his advice on McFarlane toys, because, sad to say, he's going to be a little bit biased. It's going to be pretty hard for them to talk positively about McFarlane figures, because it is the competition, basically. And the reason that is because right out of the gate, McFarlane did not make his line 6 inches, which is what they were dying for. I'm pretty sure they will be butthurt about that until the day they die. They wanted the new DC line to be 6 inches, and it's just never going to be. And that's fine. I mean, people have their own taste. One thing I really love about the McFarlane collectors that I know is that they're not afraid to buy from other lines. Like, they could buy NECA, they buy Marvel Legends. It just depends which ones they are. But they do not really talk down of other toy lines, if that makes any sense. But for some reason, the Marvel fanboys, or whatever they are, they just have that, tendency to talk down on McFarlane or talk down on other toy lines, or basically a lot of times it's just McFarlane, and I just don't understand why they do that. This line is basically a mass market line. It has to sell at Walmart, Target, Best Buy, online stores. It just has to sell everywhere. So I'm pretty sure, I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure that McFarlane is playing the numbers game, which means that he's basically trying to sell units, and a lot of them. And there's a certain price point that he could get up to that he just doesn't want to pass. And I know that a lot of people always say, I'll pay $35, I'll pay $40, but give me more paint, more this, more that. But the sad part is that that's not this line. This is not a high-end line. This is a mass market trying to stay in that $20 range so that it can appeal to, everyday consumers, which is moms and dads and little kids. But of course, collectors make up a big part of that. Now, do I think that McFarlane is a little bit off on how much he thinks that collectors are part of that buying percentage? I think he might be, because collectors are pretty much buying a lot of these figures. There's still those casual people that just go through the aisle and start picking up figures for their kids or for whoever. And a big proof of that is the superpowers, because not anybody asked for that, but they are selling, and they're selling pretty good. And that has to come a lot from just random people passing through the aisles. Of course, collectors cannot be looked over. They are a major part of the action figure sales. I'm not going to say they're not, but we have to understand that McFarlane is selling a mass market line. He is not selling a high-end line. Now, let's say one day he says, all right, I'm going to start making some more painted, more accessories, extra heads, figures. Cool. I'm down for it, just as I'm sure a lot of people would be. But we'll have to see if that happens, because I'm not so sure that is McFarlane's target demographic that he's actually trying to sell to. I think he's trying to sell to like the masses. And he's always said that. That's what he got into the line saying, that he was going to make a mass DC line that sells to everybody. But of course, you do have those people that you will never make understand, that you will never make see your point of view, and they just hate McFarlane. They will never like the figures. I love this line. I've been collecting it already now for more than 2 years. I basically buy all the releases from McFarlane. It doesn't matter what it is. I try and get my hands on it. But, I'm not telling anybody what to do or how to think. What I'm just saying is my opinions on the toy line. Because, I'm just a big jerk reviewing figures. You guys, keep hunting out there. Keep collecting. Keep customizing. And I will see you on the next one.